And then you see this with people too, right? With the sun, what does the sun do to men, right? Men get morning wood. When men get erect, they get hard. Earth is hard. And the heat from the sun, which wakes us up, we rise with the sun and it gets us hard. That's when we're sexually aroused in the morning. Women, feminine entities, which are different, they get aroused at night. And what else comes out at night? The moon. What does the moon associated to, right? The moon controls supposedly like the waves, the flow of the water and stuff like that. When they get aroused, what do we correlate with that, right? They get wet, water, the feminine element. So men, hard, earth, women, wet, water. You see how everything is like as above, so below. God, nature, keeps on showing us this. It shows us what is masculine, what is feminine. A year was good, yo. It's your bro, the God. Today we're getting back on the foundational programming, the natural foundational programming, and we're going to talk about masculine and feminine energy. Right now, the mass media programming is trying to confuse what is masculine and what is feminine and trying to mix up the two. Now remember, the universe, God, right, nature is all about duality, all right, polarity, two opposites. So feminine and masculine are meant to be opposite. They're not one and the same. Now, us as humans, we have a good deal of both types of energies. And depending on our natural genders, as well as what we are naturally attracted to, kind of dictates the amount of masculine and feminine energy we have in our bodies. Now, for heterosexual people of their genders and stuff, right? Depending on whatever their gender is, that's what they have the most energy of. Right? Let's say it's like a 75-25, right? So if you're a man who's heterosexual, you have probably like 75% masculine energy, 25% feminine energy. And it's good to have that bit of the opposite energy in you because it aids you in trying to create a type of balance. You can't be 100% one way because then it's going to fuck you up. Nature gives us examples of this, right? In nature, there are the four major elements. What are they? Earth, water, wind, fire, right? Each element is either masculine or feminine. Also, there's two signs in the sky that also symbolize masculine and feminine. So you have the sun and the moon. So let me break these down for y'all real quick, all right? So let's start with the masculine element of earth. Earth is what? Earth is structured. Earth is stoic. Earth is still, right? Earth is mass, is matter, right? It's right there. You see it. Earth is dominant. Earth does not move. You feel me? It is what it is. It's right there. Earth is routine. Earth is organized. Earth is also a foundation. It's third dimensional, right? You could see it, you could touch it, you could feel it, you could smell it, right? It's third dimensional. That's Earth. Next, what's the feminine version of Earth? Almost a complete opposite of what Earth is. Water. Water flows. Water is free. Water moves. Water takes the structure of whatever you put it in. Water is submissive. Water can be also calming and graceful. And when you put water and earth together, you create life that way. Remember that. Keep those things in mind. That balance aids in creating life. Up next, fire. Fire is a masculine element. Fire is passionate. Fire is aggressive. Fire is dominating. Fire shines. Fire is energy. Fire is fierce. Fire can be used to attack or defend. Fire is focused. Fire is ruthless. Fire is forceful. Fire is like the spiritual, I guess is like the spiritual element of masculine energy because earth is the physical element of masculine energy. Water is the physical element of feminine energy. So when you think of a masculine spirit, you think of fire. Next, we have air. Air, wind, however you want to call it. Air is the spiritual form of feminine energy. It's spiritual. Fire and air is spiritual because you can't touch them. You can't grab them. You can't hold them. I mean, you could feel the air like blow. You could feel the wind blow. You could feel fire, the heat from fire and stuff like that, right? You could see fire. Fire is evident, but air is discreet. Air is subtle. Air is very discreet. Air is graceful. Fire is dominating. Air is also free flowing, right? Fire kind of like stays still where it's at. Wherever fire is burning, that's where fire is at. The air, the wind could just blow wherever the fuck it wants to go. Air needs to move. Wind needs to move. So the air, the wind, it's affectionate. It's free flowing. You ever watch Pocahontas? Like, have you ever heard, the wind blow and shit like that, or felt the wind touch your face and shit, right? So the wind is like the affectionate spiritual element of the earth. So you see with the four major elements, there's an opposite to each one. Earth, matter, third dimensional evidence of masculine energy. Then you have water, the feminine third dimensional, element of feminine energy. Then you have fire, which is the spiritual element that we could see of masculine energy. Then you have air, wind, which is a feminine spiritual element. And they're all the opposite of each other, but they work together in order to create harmony and peace. And in places on earth where all four of these work together, right? Like the Amazon, rainforests and stuff like that, the Congo, where you have water, you have earth, you have clean air, and you have heat, all working together. That's where you have the most life at. You get the most plants, most animals, most birds, most everything. Everything is there. It's the most beautiful places on earth is where all four of those work cohesively together. So remember the traits of those four elements, because those traits are also the traits of what is truly masculine and what is truly feminine. Now let's talk about what's in the sky. But when we look up, what is evident of what is masculine and what is feminine. So masculine energy is the sun. The sun is energy. The sun is light. The sun shines. The sun is dominant. The sun is like right in your face. You can't miss the sun. The sun lets you know it's there. The sun gives off energy. The sun gives off heat. The sun is aggressive. The sun is in your face. The sun is straightforward. That's the masculine side in the sky. Then you got the feminine side of the sky, which is the moon. The moon is subtle. The moon is discreet. The moon is soft. You got to look for the moon. The moon ain't just like right in your face. You know what I'm saying? If you're pointed the right way, you might see it right away. But if not, like if I put blindfold you and spin you around and shit like that at night, and I'm like, look for the moon, you got to dead ass look for the moon. You got to see where it's at. Because the moon's light is subtle. The moon is not like, yo, I'm over here, come see me. Nah, the moon is graceful, which is a feminine trait, gracefulness. And then you see this with people too, right? With the sun, what does the sun do to men, right? Men get morning wood. When men get erect, they get hard. Earth is hard. And the heat from the sun, which wakes us up, we rise with the sun. And it gets us hard. That's when we're sexually aroused in the morning. Women, feminine entities, which are different, they get aroused at night. And what else comes out at night? The moon. What does the moon associated to, right? The moon controls supposedly like the waves, the flow of the water and stuff like that. When they get aroused, what do we correlate with that, right? They get wet, water, the feminine element. So men, hard, earth, women, wet, water. You see how everything is like as above, so below. God, nature keeps on showing us this. It shows us what is masculine, what is feminine. So remember the traits for each of those elements. So we see how the sun and the moon affect each gender sexually. So each of us, we gotta learn to balance those traits. But first we gotta know what those traits are before we even start balancing. Are we male? Or if you're a heterosexual male, and then you probably need to be more masculine if you're getting issues with the opposite sex. If you're a female, a heterosexual female, and you're having issues with the opposite sex, you probably need to be more feminine. You gotta remember what is feminine, what are feminine traits. And you can always look at nature and look at the sky and get feelings from those aspects. Remember, from what I said about what's masculine traits in nature, energy, passion, forceful, dominating, shines, structure, discipline, still, organized, routine, driving force. Those are all masculine traits. What are feminine traits? Free, flowing, affectionate, nurturing, discreet, graceful, submissive, subliminal, subtle, expressive. Those are all feminine traits. So remember those two traits. What are you being when you're having an issue with someone who, if you're feminine, you're having an issue with someone who's masculine? What are you missing? If you're masculine, you're having an issue with someone who's feminine. What are you missing? Like what have you not been doing? Because here's the thing, just like the moon does not have a light of its own, the moon reflects the light from the sun. Therefore, femininity is a reflection of what's masculine, all right? So, and feminine energy submits to masculine energy in nature. So this whole making someone come out feminine and then all of a sudden they're dominant and they're masculine and shit like that, that sets confusion up, right? Or making someone come out masculine and dominating, and then all of a sudden they're submissive and feminine, that also aids in confusion. You gotta understand what is what. Now, we're all supposed to come to balance, right? We're supposed to get to a certain point of balance with each other, where our masculine and our feminine kind of meet. That's why I said that each gender should make good friends, find someone they trust who is a natural homosexual of their gender, because they are the ones who are more in balance with both energies. If you ever worked with someone who's a natural homosexual, you will see that their energy changes based on what they're around. So we got to be able to balance ourselves. And usually that happens when you're in a relationship with somebody that is the opposite of your energy, right? And then what happens, people have issues, is they have an issue with balancing it, right? At a certain point, a man becomes more feminine, the woman becomes more masculine, and then that fucks up the order. We got to remember what the balance is. We got to remember what our energies are supposed to be. And we got to remember what truly is masculine and what truly is feminine, all right? It's your boy, The God. I'll catch y'all next time. One.